Hi, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Crank Up the Volume. I am super stoked about my guest. I was already fangirling with her before we even started recording. But Lacey Ann Conine, better known to a lot of you as Double Hockey Stix. Hello.
Hi!
I am so excited to meet you this weekend. When I heard that you were gonna be in town here in Seattle for Puck Place Markets tournament and for the Torrent game on Sunday, I'm like, yeah, we have to talk.
Yes.
So how are you? So tell people about you. Well, actually, before that, I'm just gonna say this. I will admit I was late to the party. When it came when it came to, like, I didn't know that I knew your stuff until maybe a few weeks ago when I was going to a game, and I took a photo of someone wearing a very interesting shirt, and I think it was the one that was about, I survived being mansplained to about hockey,
Yep.
and I remember I was walking out, it was at Tom's Watch Bar, and I was getting ready to walk out, and I saw her, and I was like, "Ma'am, I know you don't know me, but can I take a photo of your shirt?" And she was like, "Yes!" And she lets me take it. And then when I posted it on social media, I'm thinking people are gonna ask me, "Oh, who is this from?" They're like, "Oh, yeah, that's Double Hockey Sticks." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, that is that." And I'm like, I didn't put two and two together. So you have a reputation already
Apparently.
that I was not aware of, so I was glad to be schooled.
Thank you.
But yeah, tell me and everyone more about Double Hockey Sticks and how it came to be.
Yeah, I started it in September of, I think, 2024, 2023. So we're not even 3
Okay.
years old yet. Um, it was I went through a traumatic brain injury in 2020, and it was not
Okay.
related to COVID. But it
Okay.
isolated me and in a kind of different way than how other people were isolating. I
Uh-huh.
lost my other business, my other community. Like 90% of my friends like wouldn't talk to me anymore. I was bedridden. I was like fighting for my life every
Oh,
day.
wow.
Um, just laying in bed, kind of like waiting. Like, am I gonna die? Is this ever gonna
Oh,
be fixed? Like, what do I do? And I was in a brain rewiring program that helps with chronic illness and like mystery illnesses. And that's what was stemming from my brain injury was all these chronic illnesses um, that just made life unlivable. And I did
yeah.
that program for a couple years, and it sometimes gets worse before it gets better, and that was my experience. Like, I got worse for 10 months, and then the program started working, and I accelerated in healing really fast, and so I was able to start going outside again, walking around my neighborhood, like, just doing baby steps and training, seeing human beings again, and interacting with other people,
Yeah.
and after about 2 months of being able to go outside again, one of my friends who is now passed asked me to go to a hockey game with him. And I had been a couple times before. I live right next to Honda Center. And I just hockey
Mhm.
sports just aren't really my thing. So I was like, okay, like, yeah,
Yeah.
let's go do that. Like loud noises, tons of people, flashing lights, like that'll be great to expose me back into the world. Like
Mhm.
let's go see if any of that stuff triggers me. So I went, and it was the first time in almost 2 years that I didn't think about being sick. I didn't think about dying. I was
Wow.
like, oh wow, like, you know, I can get back out into the world and start doing things again and living again. And in the program I was doing, you need to have a hobby because that keeps your brain neuroplastic, and it helps you rewire your brain. And I was like, oh, well, I hate sports.
Uh-huh.
So I'll make hockey like my thing. Like, I'll never let this take over my life. Like, it'll just be a casual thing. No, ma'am. It took over
Yeah.
my whole
Yeah. Yeah.
life. Which
Yeah.
I think is funny because in a lot of people's like hockey origin stories, it's either like they got into hockey because of their parents or their dad, or they found it late in life and it just hooked them. Like those seem to be the two big ways. And I was definitely the latter. Um, I just became instantly obsessed. My favorite players were Trevor Zegras and Jamie Drysdale, who at the time were on the Ducks. Um, it
Uh-huh.
just held my attention. and it helped me rebuild relationships with my parents, my boyfriend. Um, it was just kind of this all encompassing thing that was like the only thing I was able to relate to and talk about for probably like 2 years. Um, and that's kind of
Yeah.
where Double Hockey Sticks came from. I was obviously unemployed for 3 years, and I wanted something that I could prove to myself that like I can get back there in the workforce. I can get back out there and do something. I can use the computer and be creative and, not take this seriously. Like it's just something for me. It was kind of a joke with a core group of hockey friends that queer hockey friends that I had. Um, and I launched it, and the first day of sales was insane. And I was just like,
Mm,
how are people finding out about this? Like how am I having sales right now? Like this is insane. So I pretty much right
yeah.
away had to like take a step back and be like, "Oh my god, like hold on. I think I have something here and I need to rethink maybe taking this a little more seriously." And within 6 months I was a
Yeah.
full legal business.
Yeah. I was gonna say when you said that it's just been under 3 years, I'm like, when I went back and looked at your website and all the things that you've been able to do and the collaborations that you come up with, I was like, "How is this how?" I was like, "That is
Thank you.
phenomenal." And, offline, I definitely wanna talk to you because I can relate
Yeah.
to the brain stuff because I went through something
Okay.
similar fairly recently. So, a lot of what you were saying about, how it was kind of like hockey has really been my
Yes.
therapy. I had brain surgery back in
Holy
September.
crap.
Yeah, and we're still not done. But I understand what you were saying because it was a year before that of all of this mystery stuff happening and might not understand, "Why am I falling? Why can't I do this?
Yep.
What?" And even the thing about people disappearing from your life, you're like, "Wait a minute." So, yeah, I feel you on that. So you and I are definitely gonna
Yes, we
have
are.
something to talk about when you're here. Um yeah. But again, it's like as much as you've been able to do, like again, I was going through your site, I was looking at everything that you're working on and all these different products and that's a lot. But the one thing and again, another thing I didn't know too, I was looking at your collaborations and you have a collab with
Yeah.
365 Hockey Girls. This is like a fairly recent. I'm like, hell, I'm not surprised because
Yeah.
that's just how she rolls. But like how did that come to be? Talk about that.
Internet, like just being on the internet and being crossing each other's paths, like we've followed each other for a while. And I was
Yeah.
sending her product for a while, like, hey, like I'll send you this if you promote it, because she's really good at video content and I don't do video content. Like
Listen.
that's just not I'm just not into it. I don't do it well, like so that's her area. So I'm like, cool, like take these products and like go have fun. Um and her following
Mhm.
obviously was like super into that, and we had talked about it for a while. We were like, should we do we want to? Do you want to? Do I want like so we talked about it for a couple months, and
Yeah.
then it was like, yeah, we should do this for the PWHL season this season right now. And we just kind of
Yes.
were soundboards for each other and just kind of bounced ideas off of each other. And I mean, we had random crazy stuff, and we kind of narrowed it down and funneled it into this collection that was like 90s inspired, like but Mom I'm a Cheerleader, Clueless, like we kind of went that direction. Barbie was a big influence on it,
Yeah.
so because Ava has like her little PWHL Barbies and makes memes and stuff, so
Yes.
very heavily
Yeah.
influenced by like her and her aesthetic, and we're both kind of just crazy and like out of pocket. So I'm like, let's just do it. Let's just
Mhm.
make this. So it was really fun and easy to work with her. Most collaborations, I mean all collaborations that I've done have been pretty much like natural, easy, organic, like nothing's forced. Um and I think that just kind of
And
exactly.
that's how you
Like,
know it's
that's
gonna
I
be
kinda link
successful, to
that
be
back to,
honest.
like,
Yeah.
just being authentic and, like, you know, how have I done all these collaborations and how have I done these things? I just am who I am, and the right people find me. and that's that.
Uh-huh.
And when we're meant to work together, we'll work together. Um, so I try to
Yeah.
work with, people that have the same values and morals as me, and I think that's a big reason why it works. And Ava obviously, like, she's just so fun, and like my brand is fun, so it just
Yeah.
made sense. Yeah.
Yeah. Your brand is fun. And I feel like you have a little something for
Yeah.
everybody. I really like the diversity of the stuff that you put out there. Some that's hella snarky, which I can relate to. Then there's some other ones that
Yep.
can be kind of, it's that subtleness thing to
Yep.
it, where
Yep.
we're still a jab, but not really. But you like,
Big time.
depends on your audience. Talk about you. So you're gonna be up here this weekend, at Puck Place Market. How did you get connected with that? And is this the first time you've vended at Puck
So this
Place
is
Market, or is
annual for
this
me. This
another
is
time for
their
you?
5th year of the tournament, and I have been involved for this will be my 3rd
Yeah.
year. So Seattle Women's Hockey Club was one of the first people that we were mutuals on Instagram back in 2023 when I got back on the internet after
Mhm.
not having been on it for a couple years. And we had always kind of just connected through DMs and just jokes and, like, just kind of having that banter. And it was like 6 months later, I saw they were having this tournament, and I was like, hello, can I come up there and vend? And they were like,
Mhm.
yeah, like, no
Yeah.
questions asked. Like, yes, we will have a table and chair for you. Come up here. And I had tried
Yeah.
to get involved with things down here in Southern California, and I had asked, like, male led hockey teams and tournaments, like, can I come vend? And it was always just kind of like, well, what for? Why? We don't understand what you do here. I'm like, okay, well,
Mhm.
with Seattle Women's Hockey Club, I didn't have to explain it. They just got it.
Yeah.
Um, so this will be my 3rd year. This
Right.
tournament is, like, so, so special to me because of that. Like, the Seattle community has embraced me. Like, I feel like I'm going home. And yeah, like, it's
Mhm.
crazy. Like, even the Seattle
Clearly.
Kraken will, like, I mean, not officially, but, like, they'll post my product, like, people wearing my product, like, they support it. Bowie supports it.
Mhm.
There's a couple players on Seattle Torrent that have my product that wear it during walk-ins. Like, we've got the support up there. And I'm from the Pacific
Mhm.
Northwest originally. So,
That's
yeah, I
interesting.
always feel like I'm going
Oh,
home
yeah?
when I'm going to Seattle.
What air did you grow up in? Did you have? Were
I
you in
grew up
Seattle
in
proper, or were
Vancouver,
you in one of
Washington,
the?
across from Portland. Yeah, so I was born in Oregon,
Oh,
raised in
okay, yeah.
Washington, but I also worked for Zoomies for 15 years, and they're based around Seattle. So, I mean, I was in Seattle
Mhm.
every single year of my adult
Right.
life, like, going to visit multiple times a year. So it's always remained a huge part of my life, and I will always claim it as home.
Yeah. What I'm thinking about as you were talking, I was like, this will probably be my 3rd year of going to Puck Place
Yep.
Market on one of the days. So I
Yep.
probably saw you. I walked by your table. Might have even got, considered getting
Yes.
something, but it's those
Oh,
raffle
I
tickets. Those raffle
same.
tickets take my money. And I was like, but this time I'm buying merch.
That is
But I was like, I probably saw
hilarious.
you. I probably walked by your table, probably said hi,
Yeah,
but again,
and that
I
happens.
was in
That's
my
okay.
own world. I was just but again, but that's why I love doing conversations like this, and then you find out, oh wait, there is a connection. Oh wait, there is more going on here
Absolutely.
than what you
Yeah.
might just see on an Instagram post, right? To see the depths of relationship and how you've been able to build that in a relatively short amount of time. And frankly, you did it
Yeah,
through
I
some
mean,
serious adversity.
not to downplay my adversity, but, like, we all have adversity, especially right now as Americans. Especially as
Yeah,
minority Americans, as women, as,
yeah,
all these
yeah.
different labels. So, yeah, it's been
Mhm.
really freaking hard, but this running the business and, like, making product and doing that side of things is so natural for me. Like, social media is so natural for me. um Talking to customers, like, I worked at Zoomies for 15 years. I did customer service. Like, I
Right.
found that all the things that I did, like, in my youth and growing up, all enabled me to be able to do what I'm doing now without really having to think about it. Like it's very second nature to me.
Yeah.
Which I think is part of the reason why it works too. Like this, it's just natural for me to want to have and to hold community. Like that is the, they're more than customers to me. Like I don't ever want somebody buying something from me thinking that they're just a customer or like a number, because it's so much more than that to me.
Yeah. So now it's time for our coffee break
Ooh.
question, and I am drinking On the Origins. I'm gonna get the glass mug, you guys. I talked about it on another video, but I'm totally gonna get that this weekend because they're having a pop-up with Urban Family Brewing Saturday morning, which is where I'm gonna go before I come to Puck Place and drop a few dollars with you and watch the team play as well. But my coffee break question for you is, and it's kind of appropriate because I'm looking at your back wall there. And usually the coffee break question is about kind of what was your foray into sports or your first exposure to sports. And I know
Are you
you
talking about
said
my
something
Britney
about
Spears skateboard?
skateboarding. So tell us about that.
it's it's Britney,
I
bitch.
didn't even realize that was Britney. I just saw knees. I'm like,
It's
okay, I just
Britney.
thought it was
Yeah,
pink.
so
So I was
I
like,
grew up in the era
talk
of
about
like
it.
Jackass, Bam Margera, Johnny Knoxville, like that was quintessential to my childhood. And I became obsessed with that culture probably around like 11 or 12. And I would go to Zoomies every day as a customer when I was little, which
Uh-huh.
is like a skate shop that's from the Pacific Northwest, but now it's like worldwide. Um, and as
Yeah.
soon as I turned 16, I got hired there and worked there until I was 31. So I worked there for a very long time, and skateboarding culture
Wow.
was a huge part of my life. I didn't really skate myself. Like I tried and I could ride around on a board, but I didn't do any tricks or anything. But skateboarding just meant so much to me. Like that culture and that community when I was working in it back then was just so free and opening and like welcoming and fun. And it was like I was working in a male dominated space, but like I did kind of get some of the grief from the little kids, like, oh, you're gonna grip my skateboard. And I'm like, do you want the brand new kid who doesn't know anything about it to do it? Or do you want me to do it who's been doing it for 10 years? Um, so there's a
Yeah.
little bit of that, but for the most part, like they were so chill and like loved that there was like girls and women doing it. Like it was just a very welcoming community. It's how I met my boyfriend. He also worked for Zoomies. We have been together for almost 12 years as of next
Mhm.
week. And he thank you.
Huh?
And he
All right.
owns a
Happy
fingerboard
anniversary.
company, which is like tech decks, like little fingerboards. But his are
Hmm.
professional, so they're
Yeah.
extremely expensive. They
Yeah.
cost the same amount as a regular size skateboard. So he's built that culture and market down here in Southern
Oh, wow.
California, and kind of the same thing, but like different with hockey and with skateboarding. We both just build communities and just really love being around people. And we've really found that skateboarding and hockey are very similar in that the sacrifice of the body that these people put their bodies through. There's self-policing in both of the
Mhm.
sports. Like the
Yeah.
skateboarders take care of their own, hockey players take care of their own, even though
Hmm.
skateboarding's individual and hockey's a team sport. There's actually a hockey or a skateboarding company called Hockey,
Hmm.
and the reason is because of what I just said. And they're a really big inspiration for me too. So there's definitely overlap
Okay.
there for sure. And me being in Southern California, like skateboarding culture is huge here. So that seeps into Southern California hockey too.
No, totally makes sense. Yeah. So as we close out, I want to ask you one last question, which is you're going to be here this weekend. What kind of merch should people be on the lookout for? Like I said, you
Yeah.
have a wide range, but I'm sure you're bringing some
Yes.
specific things. So other than pens, because I'm definitely getting some of those pens that I saw. What kind of things can people look
Yeah,
forward
I
to being
definitely
able
try
to
to manage
potentially
the
purchase
product
if they
to the
stop
event
by?
that I'm going to. And since this is a women's hockey tournament, it's very women centric.
Mhm.
I do have the mansplain shirt that you saw. Like I am bringing that one. That's a staple at the women's tournaments. The Too Many Men beanie, I have that one in black,
Right.
pink, and then like a green, like for the Torrent. Um, There's a bunch of like hockey romance stuff. Obviously, some of it's inspired by Heated Rivalry, some of it's stuff that I've been making for years. People in Seattle tend to like the bookish stuff, so I always bring that with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. And then I just have like
We
the
kinda do,
staples,
yeah,
like
we're
my
bookish
tried and
city,
true,
yeah,
like
yeah.
hockey is gay. Like that was the first design I ever made, and everybody loves that one. Which couldn't be more true than people experience hockey today.
Mhm.
I
Is
don't
any of that
bring collaboration
365
stuff with
Hockey
me
Girl
just
collab stuff
because
gonna
it
be there, or
it
is that just online?
complicates the way that I pay out the people that I collaborate with. It's just math is not my thing, so I'm like I tend to not.
Smart.
Yeah. Yeah, so I
No,
tend to not
no,
bring collaboration
that's
stuff,
that's a
and
good
I did
business
have people
decision, though,
ask
I
for, like, the
understand it.
Hockey Indigenous collab, and I haven't quite figured out how to m make that stuff work yet, but I will try. And then another thing that I know people always want me to bring that I can't bring to,
Mhm.
the Iceplex is, like, Kraken or Torrent themed item. I can't bring stuff like that. Um Yeah.
Yeah.
So, people are like, "Oh,
Yeah,
did you bring
that's a
this and that?" I'm
business
like, "No,
marketing
I
thing, totally
couldn't."
get that,
So,
yeah.
I have a ton of other stuff to choose from, though.
Can you do it? I might have to do a whole podcast just about those kind of things because I think a lot of people as fans, they don't understand that there's some business parts that come
Yep.
to being able to do stuff. Like I have a media pass for the
Yep.
torrent
Yep.
games, but if I'm going to exercise it, I can't show up in this. Right? You know, I gotta be neutral. So people, cause there are people say, "Oh my God, did you just pull a
Yep.
Clark Kent?" Because I go into the media room with my normal stuff on, and
Yep.
then I switch up real quick after I'm done and put on my gear for
There's
the game
layers,
and then
yeah.
have to re-switch
Yep.
it back out. And I was like, yeah, there's rules. I can't do that. You know, I can't walk into the
Yep.
media press room
Can't do it.
rocking, hockey gear from the team. It just you're not just allowed to do that. Well, Lacey, it was so great talking to you. I know you have a flight up here coming soon, so we will see you. And like I said,
It's
what is your website that people
doublehockeystix.com,
can
and
go
it's
to check out your merch
STIX.
and order? Okay. So
Yay!
we'll
Thank
make
you
sure to
so
share that out.
much.
And this will go out soon. And I will see you this weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. And thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're going to be around this weekend at Puck Place Market to the pop ups that the Torrent and Onda and Urban Family Brewing's doing, or coming to the Torrent game on Sunday, look for us. We'll look for you. Take care, everybody.